僕小学校の時にですね、絵日記の宿題がありましてね、それでその絵日記の宿題ではですね、自分のその日に起きたことを絵に描いて、そして文章に書いてたんですね。それはやはり自分の表現であったわけですね。ですからそういうふうにしてやっぱり自分の作品をこれから作ればいいんだと思ってですね、僕はカメラも好きでしたから、写真も好きでしたので、その時もうすでにカメラを持ってましたので、そのカメラを使って記録しながらですね、自分のその作品っていいますか芸術について考えていこうと思ったんですね。
Noda Tetsuya is a great printmaker working in Japan right now, who has chronicled the last half century in an amazing series of prints which he calls diary. Diary is literally that. It's his life shown from the inside, shared with us. Anything that happens to him, people he meets, places he goes, things he receives, but recorded with the most incredible sensitivity and a sense of mystery. We're never quite sure exactly what is going on in a Noda print, and I think it's very true to life in that way. So it's 1968, Noda is 28, a big change in his personal circumstances. He's becoming engaged to Dorit Batur, Israeli woman, and this pair of portraits of their respective families is in a sense breaking the news to both sides. And his parents dress very formally because it's a formal occasion for them. And then on the left, the family of Dorit Batur. Noda's using photography in a way that would have been quite revolutionary in printmaking Japan at the time, but combining it with traditional woodblock, commenting on his life event, showing the international dimension of the life that he was entering into. And these works have rightly become his signature pieces.
で家族の時をやった時はですね、ある人から何人かからそういう家族のことなんかプライベートなことをそんなことを作品でやる必要はないんじゃないかっていうことも言われたことはありますけど、しかし現在ではね、Facebook とかなんかで一生懸命にブログとかですね使ってやってることを思いますとですね、別にこの表現っていうのは普通のことなんじゃないかと思いますね。
Noda says that he uses the camera as a sketchbook to record experiences. But he's already decided which particular shots he wants to frame with the camera, I think, before he starts. But the even more interesting intervention is that he develops the photographic images onto a standard size of print. And then he uses pencil, graphite, whiteout to change the photographic image quite substantially.
僕はこのところをですね、料理するって言うんですけどね、自分の好きなように自分の味付けをしてですね、その写真を料理するということをしたいと思うようになったんですね。
It's on the basis of the changed photographic image that he then goes through another quite unusual process, which is to scan the altered photograph on a Gestetner machine, which is a kind of old-fashioned mimeograph machine, which he first started using in the 60s and 70s. And the Gestetner machine scans the photographic image as it's turning on a rotating mechanism. And then it converts that into a stencil. It uses a needle to make lots and lots of little dots through a piece of paper. And that becomes the stencil that is used for silk screen printing.
De 僕は油絵を勉強しながら版画も勉強しましたし、版画を勉強している時にですね、 やはりその木版がですね一番身近に感じられたんですね。それは実は小学校の時もね木版画を勉強したことがあるんです。それから木版画っていうのは日本には僕の小さい頃から古くから年賀状を交換するというのがありました。あれが大体木版画でやってましたので非常に親しみ深いものでしたね。
So we've got some colour wood block, generally for background areas or small details of local colour, which is then overlaid by a silkscreen print, which is created on the basis of an altered photograph. I think that the woodblock technique has always been at the heart of Japanese printmaking. Many other techniques have been used, but it's woodblock which is the true forte of the Japanese tradition. And Noda's certainly using that technique in a very self-aware manner. In 2002, Noda and his wife Dorit came to London, and like all of us, they wanted to see the new Tate Modern, and found their way up to the viewing balcony on the top of the building and looked down at the New Millennium Bridge. And Noda describes how it was a sudden moment of recognition, a rare instance where he's quoting an ukiyo-e print directly, in this case the Hiroshige sudden shower over Ohashi Bridge from 1857.
広重についての作品ですけど、画面なんかを見てもですね非常にその完璧な構図っていいますかなんか驚くようなやはり想像力でですね作品を構成しているというのもまた僕が気に入っているところなんですけど、よくまたあんな風にですね付近には当時は高いビルもないしヘリコプターもないのにもかかわらずですねああいう構図の作品が描いたということは驚きでしたね。
It's about 150 years between these two prints. The Noda view from Tate Modern has this very subtle veiled quality, which is a combination of very soft colours from the woodblock overlaid with very subtle photo silkscreen, with the intervening Gestetner process having really softened the image. Rarely can yellow porter cabins have looked so beautiful. In 2014, we did a special display in the Mitsubishi Corporation Japanese galleries, featuring some of the highlights of, if I could put it, the first 50 years of Noda's career. And that was the occasion for Professor Noda and his wife Dorit to come to England, come to the British Museum, and we staged a very nice little welcome party in the Japanese gallery one evening in the summer. And of course, he had his camera, or somebody had a camera, which took like almost 360-degree image of the reception party. He incorporated that into a splendid view of the famous front entrance of the British Museum with the Union Jack flying above. That print was an interesting combination of the woodblock, the silkscreen that I've already described, but he also, in this case, used collage. Collage is something that he's been adding to some of his recent designs. And it's really hard to see the join, but he's printed out some colour photographs that he's manipulated in some way, and then added these as a strip along the bottom of the print to show the reception party in full swing.
それによってですね、写真に深みが出てくるというわけですね。そしてそれで満足した場合は、そこにその日の写真を撮ったその日付をですねタイトルにしてるんです。そして母音をやってるんですけど、母音をやり始めたのはその技法で始めた時に一時白黒だけでやったことがあるんですね。そうしますと色気がないもんですから、ちょっと色気をつけるためにですね母音で赤く色を印鑑ですね最後に母音を押してですね、作品を決めようと思って終わってるんですね。